I start out with a question. Do you remember The Late Show? Any of you remember The Late Show with David Letterman? All right, good. That's a good start. You remember his bit about a top 10 list? He did hundreds of these. I researched it. Hundreds of these top 10 lists. And I always loved that part of the show because you never knew what was going to be said, like top 10 signs the government is running out of money, you know? Top 10 ways to get out of jury duty, David Letterman. Top 10 complaints of New York City police officers. Top 10 rejected names of new cars. Any car dealers among us that would be a good one. I want to share with you a top 10 list that I created this past week, a la David Letterman. And this morning, before worship started, I recruited, and I didn't have to arm twist anyone, I recruited 10 people as they walked in and then sat down to read answers to a category that I created, as David Letterman might have done. Top 10 reasons not to give money to the church. I wasn't sure if that was going to get laughter or silence this morning, and I think I know. Top 10 reasons not to give money to the church. So I have 10 people who are going to read what I gave them. It was completely random what they chose. So they're going to stand one at a time, and they'll say the line, and then I will repeat it for sake of delivering this message overseas to various parts of the world. Okay, top 10 reasons not to give money to the church. Number 10.
When you give money to the church, you don't get it back.
When you give money to the church, you won't get it back. So true. Number 9.
I might need money for myself. Thank you very much.
I can't argue it. I might need the money for myself. Thank you very much. Number 8. I might not be able to control how the money is spent. Top 10 reasons not to give money to the church. Number 7.
I may be asked to give again.
Some people are really putting a lot of emotion in this reading. I might be asked to give again and again and again. Number 6, please.
I'm tired of the church.
That's what I like, a lot of emotion into this. I'm tired of the church always asking for money. Number 5, please.
There are other worthy causes in the world to support.
There are other worthy causes to support in the world, indeed. Top 10 reasons not to give money to the church. Number 4.
I might not have enough money left to give to my children or grandchildren.
I might not have enough money left to give to my children or grandchildren. Number 3.
I'll wait until I die, and maybe then I'll give some.
I'll wait until I die, and maybe then I'll give some. And what was that last phrase? Or not. All right. Number 2. Someone else will give money so that I won't have to. So true. And top 10 reasons not to give money to the church. Number 1. Unscrupulous pastors have been known to run off with all the money. Top 10 reasons not to give money to the church. Well done, folks. You sounded very convincing in your passion. Appreciated that. The month of October has been a month, at least on Sundays, with themes of generosity. Generosity. The generosity of creation, for example, is how we started out, Jody and I. The abundance of creation around us, especially in this beautiful area. There was the generosity of welcome. How do we see people? How do we hear people? How do we accept people in a generous spirit of welcome? Last Sunday, Jody talked about the generosity of grace, and she reminded us that grace is the no matter whatness of God, the no matter whatness of God. And today I want to say a few words about the generosity of giving. So, strategically I thought it was really important to start out kind of lighthearted, as the readers graciously read. But this is not a hammer to the metal or a foot to the pedal kind of sermon. It does include one of my favorite stories in the New Testament, in the Gospels, the parable of the Pharisee and the tax collector, also called publican, Pharisee and the publican, but we'll call it the tax collector, call him the tax collector. The Pharisee, as many of you know, even if you don't know a whole lot about the New Testament, the Pharisee was a religious somebody, a person of some importance. And the tax collector, or the publican, as he's described in some version, was kind of a nobody compared to the Pharisee. And the Pharisee, Mr. Somebody, was a hard-working member in the house of religion. And he was always volunteering, always cleaning up messes, always there helping out, generous too, always able somehow to give 10% right off the top, as he notes. And institutions and corporations were delighted to know him. He never complained, no bones to pick with anyone. Even his prayers moved people to tears. The Pharisee, he was the real thing. He was the total, complete package. And we may have some negative impressions of the Pharisee in gospel accounts, but this much is certain. Pharisees could be counted on, and Pharisees counted for something. And then there's the other character in the story Jesus tells, the tax collector, or as I said, the publican. He entered a rather despised profession in the New Testament. He was a tax collector, as you know. People hated him for good reason. He worked for the Roman Empire, and he sort of squeezed and squeezed and squeezed payments out of the Jews who were forced to give to Caesar what was Caesar's. And even though Caesar's, it wasn't Caesar's in the first place. And the publican, the tax collector, was, let's face it, he was something of a creep. Something of a creep. He sold, in my imagination, he probably sold phony life insurance policies to people in their 80s, and he ran a scam selling used cemetery plots to those in the throes of grief. He was a scoundrel who took advantage of people. And yet he's somehow made into the hero of the story Jesus tells. And as he prays, standing before God, he confesses the whole ugly truth about his life and the whole sordid mess. And he goes home from the temple with a far more clear conscience than the Pharisee. So here's what begs to be acknowledged. And I want to say from the get-go, what I'm saying are not judgments. What I'm saying are facts about what happens in churches. Not just this, every church. They're true for every congregation. Things like some of us have been blessed materially in abundance. Others of us less so. That's not a judgment, that's just a fact, right? Some of us are generous in proportion to what we have. Others perhaps less so. That's not a judgment, that's simply a fact. Some probably give more than they need to. Others less so. Again, not a judgment, just stating a fact. Some have a relationship to money that could be summed up, it's mine, I earned it. Others are quick to say, it's mine and I need to share it. Again, not a judgment. It's just a fact. It happens in every congregation, small, large, pew sitters, chair sitters, Protestant, Catholic, the whole gamut. Some are tight-fisted, others are open-handed. Again, not a judgment, just a fact. And the only thing that matters really is being here as a blessing. That's the only thing that matters. One of our favorite authors is a Methodist trained minister who is more of a poet now and a painter, Jan Richardson. She wrote a piece a while back that I stumbled upon this week. It's called Blessing When the World is Ending. Blessing When the World is Ending. Here's a portion. Look, the world is always ending somewhere. Somewhere the sun has come crashing down. Somewhere it has gone completely dark. Somewhere it has ended with a gun, the knife, the fist. Somewhere it has ended with a tenderness that will break your heart. But listen, she goes on, listen, this blessing means to be anything but morose. It has not come to cause despair. This blessing will not fix you. It will not mend you. It will not give you a false sense of comfort. It will not talk to you about one door opening and then another one closing. It will simply sit itself beside you among the shards and gently turn your face toward the direction from which the light comes, gathering itself about you as the world begins again. So here's the connection. The money we give to this church, the generosity of our giving in the amount God puts on your heart and my heart, brings light when darkness is oppressive. What we give opens doors that have been slammed shut in 1,000 different ways. What we give puts broken lives back together again. So thank you for considering year in and year out, Sunday after Sunday, how faithful you want to be. Thank you for considering how faithful you are able to be. Thank you. So I end with this short story. You can decide if it's true or not. A group of people were shipwrecked on a deserted island. After a few days, food was scarce. What little drinkable water was soon diminishing. Morale was low, really low, as you can imagine, except for one couple who didn't seem at all bothered by the dire, life-threatening situation they were in. And the group finally confronted this somewhat optimistic couple. They said, "Why are you so upbeat? Don't you realize we're in a life and death situation?" And they smiled. "We're not worried," they said. "We're one of the top givers in our church." And our pastor is bound to find us. So, it's always good to finish a stewardship sermon on a laugh. So thank you for taking that in. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for giving. Sunday in and Sunday out. Thank you for supporting the good causes that this church stands for. I'm not ashamed to say, continue to do so. More if you can. More if you can. Thank you. God bless.